This enables it to side view of Minutman 3 ICBMM and work on a Minutman 3's multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicle (MIRV) system. Current missiles carry a single warhead. Dispense deploys or with MIRV dispense individual RVs to separate targets. For the PSRE it uses the propellant Rocketdyne RS-14 engine. The Hercules M57 third stage of Minuteman I and Minuteman II had thrust termination ports on the sides. These ports, when opened by detonation of shaped charges, reduced the chamber pressure so abruptly that interior flame was blown out. This allowed a precisely timed termination of thrust for targeting accuracy. The larger Minuteman III third-stage motor also has thrust termination ports, although the final velocity is determined by PSRE. A fixed nozzle with a liquid injection thrust vector control system on the new third-stage motor, similar to the second-stage Minuteman II nozzle, additionally increased range. A flight computer, Autonetics D37D, with larger disk memory and enhanced capability. A Honeywell HDC 701 flight computer which employed non-destructive readout plated wire memory instead of rotating magnetic disk for primary storage was developed as a backup for the D37D but was never adopted. The Guidance Replacement Program, initiated in 1993, replaced the disk-based D37D flight computer with a new one that uses radiation-resistant semiconductor RAM. The Minuteman III missiles use D37D computers and completeth 1,000 missile deployment of this system. The initial cost of these computers range from about $139,000 D37C to $250,000 D17B. The existing Minuteman III missiles have been further improved over the decades in service, with more than $7 billion spent in the 2010s to upgrade the 450 missiles. 41. Specifications. The Minuteman III has a length of 59.9 feet, 18.3 m, 4, weighs 79,432 pounds, 36,030 kilograms, 4, an operational range of 8,700 mi, 14,000 kilometers, 7, and an accuracy of about 800 feet, 240 m. 28, 29, W78 warhead. Minuteman III MIRV launch sequence 1. The missile launches out of its silo by firing its first stage boost motor, A.2. About 60 seconds after launch the first stage drops off and the second stage motor, B, ignites. The missile shroud, E, is ejected. 3. About 120 seconds after launch the third stage motor, C, ignites and separates from the second stage. 4. About 180 seconds after launch 3 rogue stage thrust terminates and the post-boost vehicle, D, separates from the rocket. 5. The post-boost vehicle maneuvers itself and prepares for re-entry vehicle, RV, deployment. 6. The RVs, as well as decoys and chaff, are deployed during backaway. 7. The RVs and chaff re-enter the atmosphere at high speeds and are armed in flight. 8. The nuclear warheads initiate either as air bursts or ground bursts. In December 1979 the high-yield W78 warhead, 335 350 kilotons, began replacing a number of the W62s deployed on the Minuteman III. 42. These were delivered in the Mark 12 AM retrieval. A small, unknown number of the previous Mark 12 AFs were retained operationally, however, to maintain a capability to attack more distant targets in the South Central Asian republics of USSR. The Mark 12 RV weighed slightly less than the Mark 12A. Guidance Replacement Program. The Guidance Replacement Program replaces the NS-20 missile guidance set with the NS-50 missile guidance set. The NA system extends the service life of the Minuteman missile beyond year 2030 by replacing aging parts and assemblies with current high-reliability technology while maintaining the current accuracy performance. The replacement program was completed 25 February 2008. 43. Propulsion Replacement Program. Beginning in 1998 and continuing through 2009. 44. The Propulsion Replacement Program extends the life and maintains the performance by replacing the old solid propellant boosters, downstages. Single reentry vehicle. The single reentry vehicle modification enabled the United States ICBM force to abide by the now voided Start 2 treaty requirements by reconfiguring Minuteman III missiles from 3 reentry vehicles down to 1. Though it was eventually ratified by both parties, Start 2 never entered into force and was essentially superseded by follow-on agreements such as SORT and new START, which do not limit MIRV capability. Minuteman II remains fitted with a single warhead due to the warhead limitations in new Start. Safety Enhanced Reentry Vehicle. Beginning in 2005, Mk-21/W-87 RVs from the deactivated Peacekeeper missile were replaced on the Minuteman III force under the Safety Enhanced Reentry Vehicle (SERV) program. The older W-78 did not have many of the safety features of the newer W-87, such as insensitive high explosives, as well as more advanced safety devices. In addition to implementing these safety features in at least a portion of the future Minuteman III force, the decision to transfer W-87s onto the missile was based on 2 features that improved the targeting capabilities of the weapon, more fusing options which allowed for greater targeting flexibility, and the most accurate reentry vehicle available, which provided a greater probability of damage to the designated targets. Deployment. The Minuteman III missile entered service in 1970, with weapon systems upgrades included during the production run from 1970 to 1978 to increase accuracy and payload capacity. As of September 2019, the USAF plans to operate it until 2030. 45. The LGM-30 Peacekeeper, MX, ICBM, which was to have replaced the Minuteman, was retired in 2005 as part of Start 2. A total of 450 LGM-30G missiles are emplaced at F.E. Warren Air Force Base, Wyoming, 90th Missile Wing, Minot Air Force Base, North Dakota, 91st Missile Wing, and Malmstrom Air Force Base, Montana, 341st Missile Wing. All Minuteman I and Minuteman II missiles have been retired. The United States prefers to keep its MIRV deterrents on submarine-launched Trident nuclear missiles. 46. In 2014, the Air Force decided to put 50 Minuteman III silos into warm unarmed status, taking up half of the 100 slots in America's allowable nuclear reserve. These can be reloaded in the future if necessary. 47. Testing. A Minuteman III missile in its silo. Minuteman III missiles are regularly tested with launches from Vandenberg Space Force Base in order to validate the effectiveness, readiness, and accuracy of the weapon system, as well as to support the system's primary purpose, nuclear deterrence. 48. The safety features installed on the Minuteman II for each test launch allow the flight controllers to terminate flight at any time if the systems indicate that its course may take it unsafely over inhabited areas. 49. Since these flights are for test purposes only, even terminated flights can send back valuable information to correct a potential problem with the system. The 576th Flight Test Squadron is responsible for planning, preparing, conducting, and assessing all ICBM ground and flightists. Airborne Launch Control System, ALCS. The Airborne Launch Control System, ALCS, is an integral part of Minuteman ICBM command and control system and provides a survivable launch capability for the Minuteman ICBM force if ground-based launch control centers, LCCs, are destroyed. When the Minuteman ICBM was first placed on alert, the Soviet Union did not have the number of weapons, accuracy, nor significant nuclear yield to completely destroy the Minuteman ICBM force during an attack. However, starting in the mid-1960s, the Soviets began to gain parity with the US and potentially had the capability to target and successfully attack the Minuteman force with an increased number of weapons that had greater yields and accuracy than were previously available. 13. Studying the problem, SAC realized that in order to prevent the US from launching all 1,000 Minuteman weapons, the Soviets did not have to target all 1,000 Minuteman missile silos. The Soviets needed to launch only a disarming decapitation strike against the 100 Minuteman LCCs, the command and control sites, in order to prevent the launch of all Minuteman ICBMs. Even though the Minuteman ICBMs would have been left unscathed in their missile silos following an LCC decapitation strike, the Minuteman missiles could not be launched without a command and control capability. 13. In other words, the Soviets needed only 100 warheads to eliminate command and control of the Minuteman weapons. Even if the Soviets chose to expend 2 to 3 warheads per LCC for a short damage expectancy, the Soviets would have had to expend only up to 300 warheads to disable the Minuteman ICBM force, far less than the total number of Minuteman silos. The Soviets could have then used the remaining warheads to strike other targets they chose. 13. An airborne missile operating common ALCS on board an EC-135 ALCC faced with only a few Minuteman LCC targets. The Soviets could have concluded that the odds of being successful in a Minuteman LCC decapitation strike were higher with less risk than it would have been having to face the almost insurmountable task of successfully attacking and destroying 1,000 Minuteman silos and 100 Minuteman LCCs to ensure Minuteman was disabled. This theory motivated SAC to design a survivable means to launch Minuteman, even if all the ground-based command and control sites were destroyed. 13. After thorough testing and modification of EC-135 command post aircraft, the ALCS demonstrated its capability on the 17th of April, 1967 by launching an ERCS-configured Minuteman II out of Vandenberg AFB, CA. Afterward, ALCS achieved initial operational capability on the 31st of May, 1967. From that point on, airborne missiles stood alert with ALCS-capable EC-135 aircraft for several decades. All Minuteman ICBM launch facilities were modified and built to have the capability to receive commands from ALCS. With ALC standing alert around the clock, the Soviets could no longer successfully launch a Minuteman LC decapitation strike. Even if the Soviets attempted to do so, EC-135s equipped with the ALCS could fly overhead and launch the remaining Minuteman ICBMs in retaliation. 14. With the ALCS on alert, the Soviet war planning was complicated by forcing them to target not only the 100 LCCs, but also the 1,000 silos with more than one warhead in order to guarantee destruction. This would have required upwards of 3,000 warheads to complete such an attack. The odds of being successful in such an attack on the Minuteman ICBM force would have been extremely low. 14. The ALCS is operated by airborne missiles from the Air Force Global Strike Commands, AFSC, 625th Strategic Operations Squadron, STAS, and United States Strategic Command, (USSTRATCOM). The weapon system is also located on board the United States Navy's E-6B Mercury. The ALCS crews are integrated into the battle staff of the USSTRATCOM Looking Glass Airborne Command Post, (ALP), and are on alert around the clock. 51. Although the Minuteman ICBM force has been reduced since the end of the Cold War, the ALCS continues to act as a force multiplier by ensuring that some enemy cannot launch a successful Minuteman